Okay guys, we're back. Last couple hours of the Toyota Championship on Lake Gunnersville. And guys, it's not going our way. We made a move. We're doing this whole, we haven't even done this yet in the first 2 days of the tournament. But we're going with this pattern, this topwater pattern of throwing a plopper style bait down certain specific key banks. And yeah, I finally get that bite. Guys, this whole video and this whole video of this series
big one
might be a little tough. It's tough because I've been fishing long enough and I've seen this play out, and I know these days, and it's one of these days, it's a weird day and it's hard for me to explain. But in 20 years I've had hundreds of these days. I know these days. And I'll explain it as it goes along.
usually what I can do, get like one bite on long stretches. We're good to run it for the rest of the day. I think that's gonna happen. Go down the lake a little ways. Go frog fishing or something.
If you're wondering, why is he going and throwing a frog? In these tournaments, we're allowed to talk to other competitors. I haven't really talked to anyone about fishing as this has been going along. But on the final day, a buddy of mine, we were kind of talking, and he was just telling me about these frog blowups he had and like these fish. He did really, really good in the tournament. And I really wasn't going to go run the pattern or do any of that. But he did say, I said, hey man, was any of it close? And he said, yeah, there's one spot, there was a lot of places he was fishing was up there by that bridge. He said, but I got this other spot, man, if you just happen to run by it, you might want to go check it out. Normally I wouldn't, but so far I have gone and done my dock deal. And although I had some bites and everything, I really only had, one bite, and that was a decent one. And it got me hung up. I've been doing it for a long time. Like those docks, they're just getting worse and worse every day. And I'm not going to sit there and keep doing something. Although, could I have probably caught some more fish doing it? Yes. Could I have won? No. This is the last day of the championship. I'm not out here for second place or third or fourth. I'm not going to sit there and do something that I know won't win me the tournament. Not now. Not at this point. I already saw that thing that I do not believe, and I'm like 100% sure I can't win it on the docks. They're not going to be away from the docks because the sun's not out. And they're just not up there. I went and ran that topwater deal and got a bite. Now you're like, oh, well, yeah, you had one bite and it missed it. Big deal. It is a big deal because I didn't hardly have any of them miss in practice. And the day was kind of weird. My coiners had some bites on a topwater and they've missed it. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe this frog deal will be different, right? So let me go run it real quick. So that's what I do. I come over here. I've got one little spot. Let me go check it out.
You probably have a way better shot now that I left there. This is. Oh, I don't. I thought I lost it for a second. I swear that fish was a lot bigger than that. Yeah, the way it sounded. Is that the same fish? I swear that fish was like, she ain't even feet. That sounded like a big too.
So I get a bite, it eats it. Sounded big, but it wasn't big. And I'm going, okay, well, I see it now. Like I saw what I was kind of looking for, so I'm gonna go do it a little bit more. So much of fishing is, to me, it's doing something different at times when you need to. $200,000 on the line, and I'm out here doing something different because I'm at least trying. I'm gonna go down fighting, in my opinion. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down fighting. I'm gonna go down trying to do something. I'm not gonna do this the whole time, but I'm trying to get a spark. I'm trying to get something going that I can go with. Because, like I said, I just don't believe in doing the same old thing and just trying to do good in the event. Like, I want to win this thing, and I know I can't win it how I've been fishing. Like, it's changed. I also have an idea of maybe what I should do, and I'll get into this. There's a thought in my head of probably what I could do in this event to maybe catch them. Now, I'm not going to bring that up just yet, and I have thought about this, but like, the reason I don't go do it is it's the only thought I have, but I have done this pretty much for 6 to 7 days without a bite or very little bite. Like, it's not, and you're like, well, what is it? It's so hard to do something when you've tried it over and over and over and over again. And basically, I don't want to say failed, but it has not shown to be productive. Although I think it's probably what I should do. Man, you're a bigger man than me, and whatever. If you think you could, if you've got it in your head, what do you think I should go do? It would be a hard thing to change when I said I've done it for so much and it hasn't really worked out in this certain situation. And I'll bring this up later. But I'm gonna throw this pad perch a little bit longer over this milfoil.
I'll keep like. Oh, that's gonna keep. Yeah, it is. Would you like that? Net job. The real one is. Them little ones don't have any weight on them to keep from doing that. Oh, we got a freaking giant 2 fish.
We got the move coming to grass.
Like I said, I just didn't want to. Just got tired of looking at the same old boat docks that I've beaten up for 2 days that seem to have small ones on it. I mean, I had a chance to have a couple fish, but I don't know. I don't feel like I can win. I'm not saying I can win doing this, but maybe if I catch a couple and I can still go maybe run that other pattern. If I can get a couple out of here, then I could go run that topwater deal and maybe just get 1 or 2. They're usually really, really good ones. So I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it over there. Jody messed me all up.
Damn cameraman.
The little ones always do that. Of course, if you're not using a rod that does this.
If you're wondering about when I set the hook and these fish are getting wrapped around the tip of my rod, the deal is I've always told y'all, anyone that follows me, y'all know I don't care about keepers. Keepers are not my thing. I fish in a way that I'm not out there to have my setup for 15 inches. My setup is for when 7-pounders bite and 5-pounders bite or 10-pounders bite. And the reason is because so many people come in and go, man, I lost my big one. I lost a big one. I rarely have that happen. And the reason that is because I'm set up. I don't mind losing a 15-incher now and then. Like that's not going to win me the tournament. But a big one, those are the important ones. So I'm always set up for big ones. I still catch the fish, but the problem is when you set the hook on little ones, right? There's nothing to stop them. There's no drag, and so they come flying out of the water at you, But that's when a 5-pounder does it. That doesn't happen. So that's why the line's getting wrapped around the right. It's part of the little inconvenience of catching 15-inchers on the setup, but it's well worth it when big ones bite.
Normally I just cut it, but now I want to see if I can have one win today and it not being a knot. It's going to be my win. A big win for the day.
Really beautiful work. Beautiful.
Yeah. See how I did all that on purpose?
That's professional level work right there.
On top of that, my little subtle bite I had and going back in there and getting her to bite, wasting 5 minutes.
It's all right. You're getting ready for this big one that's about to blow up.
Do what?
You're getting ready for the big one that's about to blow up.
Oh yeah. Wherever she was, I know she was still set further to the right. Probably ate a 7-inch perch. Feeling pretty good about herself about not wanting to eat.
I'm at the point in the day right now where a win is a win, and not having to retie and cut off my braid is a win. It's just, let's see, I've gone and caught big ones out of docks, done it today, caught small ones. I've gone and thrown the Chapo now just for a little bit, had a big one's bite, but missed. Then I come over here throwing a frog, on pad perch, had bites. They're all small too. Like I'm getting bit. I don't think I've even made bad decisions. It's just big ones are eluding me right now. I think I know of a way to go get big ones to bite. And like I said, years and years and years of experience has told me one thing. Y'all need to really listen to what I say over the next couple of minutes. There's a real learning thing here. And like I said, it's hard to explain, but I've seen it. And it's hard to explain because I really don't understand it. But I've been a part of it so many times that I know it's real, and I can see when it's going to happen. It's just it's just experience, guys. It's not the best experience, but it is experience that has taught me this.
I didn't realize I was that close to him. Right there. So I like pull up on 2 or 3 banks. It'd be bam, bam, and I just leave. I figured out what banks they are, but you can do that like for a certain time of the day. Then you go do it for the rest of the day and never get bit. Well, unless I hit the wrong banks. But it would be weird how I'd pick the right, I can see it. Yeah. But, it doesn't make me, I'm like, well, it has to be a timing deal.
So I pull up, this is the bank where I all kind of figured it out. In the sense of, I had a bite or two, and I ran right to this bank and had a big one eat. And I left after like 3 casts. So I knew what to look for after this. This is that bank. I didn't get to fish very much of it, but I'm here now.
Right when I got the freaking hung up.
So I'm talking to my co-angler and my cameraman, and they're very positive. And I'm not saying I'm negative, but they're like, oh man, like they're seeing bites and they're seeing big ones. Like these are big ones. And GoPros just don't do it justice, but they're there. They see it happen. and they're getting they're trying to be encouraging, but like I said, I've just keep watching. I've been down this road.
All right, by my waypoint.
It's one of those things that I've, like I said, I've experienced this a lot in these days, and it's very hard to change. Normally, I know what I would do is I would keep doing this. I would keep doing this because it's hard to stop doing this when you get these giants to keep biting. There's another one. So you can hear me, right? I knew. It's just one of those deals. It's such a weird thing that happens when they stop biting. You're like, oh, it's cloudy. It should be a great topwater day. It should. But I had seen enough of what's going on today.
Never had to miss a practice. Not one single one. But then I just had that. I had that.
It's just, what do you do? Like, what do you do? You can't get these fish to bite anything else.
We're not going far. We can go down this other bank, get bit on it, not catch it, and then we're gonna go try some other stuff. You like that positive attitude?
Love the positive attitude. You know, maybe
to hear it.
Huh?
What'd you say?
We're gonna go down this bank, get bit, not catch it, and then we're gonna go try another little spot. I just want to show you that I can get bit on it.
I believe you. You think this one's gonna be different?
this one's going to be a 9-pounder, and it's going to take the whole thing.
Okay.
And then you're going to be like, oh crap, we're back in this thing.
So right now we're being a little sarcastic. Cameraman's he's trying to be positive, and I told him yeah, we're gonna go down this other bank and not get bit, and then we're gonna leave.
Bites have not been the problem.
Yeah, but
So it's funny, I knew I was gonna get bit. 100% I'm gonna get bit, and I'm about 99% sure it's gonna miss. The only positive I can say from this is I am proud of myself for this. I mean, you got to take wins when you can, right? I knew not to keep doing this. In the years past, I'd have kept doing this, and I'd have been mad at the end of the day because I'd have done it for 4 or 5 more hours.
you got to be kidding me.
I might have had maybe 1 bite in 4 days on this Chapo that missed in practice.
Told y'all.
I've had 4 in a row.
But I'm gonna get another
In a
bite.
very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Very short amount of time. I didn't do this very long. And maybe if I'd have done this all day long, it would have worked out. I don't really think so. I think it would have been very hard to take fish after fish after fish blowing up and missing. At this point in time, the cameraman and them stopped saying things because they saw what was going on, and they were like, I think they thought, oh, it'll turn around. It'll turn around. And I was going, I think they realized that. I'm not saying they realized that maybe I knew what I was talking about, but it was like watching the guy in second place, I think, have big ones blow up and miss, and me calling it the shots going down the bank. I think they were like, oh, like, what do you say to that, right? I'm sure they even felt a little bad for me or whatever, but they got very quiet. Like, they weren't, them blowups was happening. I wouldn't hear a peep out of them. So I don't have much time left. I'm thinking, let's just go hit the best docks down this stretch one more time.
Like, what do? Go get bit on a top water and not catch them? Yeah. Or throw a jig and at least if you get bit, you can catch them, but it takes for it. I mean,
the problem is like, what do you do, right? You keep on going and getting big ones to blow up and miss, or do you go to docks where you don't think you're going to get that many bites?
You do, man.
huh?
That's a good fish.
But I've had, dude, all 4 of those on that cloth were over 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I probably win it with those. But I mean,
So my co-angler
I don't know
starts
if
getting
I'm
some
gonna win.
bites,
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen.
okay? And he's getting bit. He's getting bit throwing a topwater, like a spook, out around in front of these docks. Okay, just kind of randomly around. Hasn't had one eat it yet, but he's getting bit. And now it's frustrating him a little bit. What do you do, right? Topwater fishing at times can do that, right? It's the only way to get a bite, but yet they miss it. So much better of a chance hooking a fish on a jig underneath a dock and landing it, but it's so much harder right now to get bit doing that. And then you got the topwater deal that's like, and you guys that follow me know, I want to catch them on a topwater more than what I'm doing on throwing a jig. But it's I know that they're gonna miss it. And I've been throwing. You're like, hey, haven't you been throwing a topwater? This whole time. All through practice. Yes. But I was throwing it on shallow grass in shallow water. I've also been throwing it nonstop through this event, through the first 2 days and today, in between these docks, with very almost zero. The bites I do get are small ones. I've not caught a keeper yet doing it. And so it's very hard now with hours left in the event, or even if I start doing it today, I'm in second place. I've basically figured out this whole deal better than 200 other anglers, other than one, on a somewhat pattern I'm doing. And then to say, oh yeah, by the way, after 4 days of practice and 2 days of the event and everything that, stop doing that on day 3 and instantly go to maybe this, even though I still did it earlier in the day with no bites. My co-angler hadn't hardly had any bites doing it. It didn't start happening to about now. And even then he's not landing any of them. They're not eating it. This is the pattern that I look back at and go, not should I have done. I should have done. Doesn't mean the outcome would have been any different. And as you can see, I'll fish these good docks, but like another dock is right around that corner to the right. Okay, that's where that white dock is that I caught him off of. I'm throwing a topwater around this point. I've been doing this constantly throughout the event. But I also, it takes a long time to do that. So I'm wasting a lot of time doing that. Or should I see how far away I am from even that dock? And I barely got to that point. Like, I have to cover a lot of water in between those docks with a topwater. That's a giant amount of time that I could be wasting. It's hard to say whether I'm wasting it or not, because almost all my fish have come off docks and none of them have come in between, even though I thought that's how I would get bit. That's not really the case anymore. And even today, I've been doing it without almost any bites.
Oh my God. There you go. There we go. Oh my God.
Yeah! I didn't know what you were doing.
Yes!
That's crazy.
Right by the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yes, got shot.
So he gets off that point. I had already put it on high, trying to basically go to this dock where I caught all those fish, and he's reeling in his topwater right next to the boat. One hits it. That's why you see me turn around, and it missed it, and it's a big one. And he works it like it's 5 feet from the boat. I can see the fish. He's 5 feet, crystal clear water, and it eats it right by the boat. A big one, and you know. That was really the only other one he had that he caught like that. And so, you know, it's one of those deals. Should I have done it all day long? Looking back, yes, I probably should have. The problem is, I only know that now. There was almost zero way that you could have done that throughout the day 3.
It blew up on it.
Right, leading up to this, because there's almost no way you could have done that. You would have had to have fit the docks, right? And I still would have had to have run the Chapo stuff. So even if I came back here, maybe I catch that fish, maybe I don't, but I'm still, it's not that I need one fish. I need basically 5 like that. So I don't think I could have caught 5 in 2 hours doing that. I think I would have had to have started off the day doing it and never put it down. That's a hard ask, right? That's a hard thing to say, hey, this is what you need to do no matter what. Even though you have not done it in this area and it has not worked, and it's not exactly how you've even been topwater fishing. I've been fishing topwaters shallow over shallow grass. Where we're getting bit now is not that shallow. It's like 2 to 4 foot, right? And the grass is much. It's growing off the bottom, but it's not up to the surface. So not only is a pattern different, everything is different. It's just like, did I learn anything from that? Not really, because I still like the fact that I tried to do what got me here. You know, it just didn't work out. So I hit the rest of the docks. So I run to the starting spot, because, you know, there is still a lot of money on the line for top 10. I mean, we got 5-10 minutes left. I run over here, I fish it, don't get any bites. The only bad part about the entire event is this right here. This is the worst feeling in the world, is this 10 seconds right here. When you strap up your rods and you had $200,000 in reach and you pull that trolling motor up, you know for the last time. That was the hardest part for me in the entire event. I did not want to stop fishing. Don't get me wrong. This is a close second place, is coming into this dock knowing that one kind of got away from me. Not that you really could have done anything different. I mean, I'm sure I'll get comments from people, everyone tell me what all I should have done different or whatever, but
Do you have to park on that thing?
if you watched all the series, you would understand why probably. So I'm getting all my stuff ready. Dave comes over here. He wants to, like, I've known him for years, man. He was rooting for me. He's a good dude right there. A lot of these guys, we're old school, right? We're some old school FLW, and man, I spent a lot of time with these guys. So I mean, he was really rooting for me. And Jody's over there taking pictures. So yeah, that's me just sitting there watching everyone kind of walk away, and like I gotta go put a smile on my face, but I'm not too concerned, right? It'll be okay. But I will say this. Just one thing. I had a lot of fans at some of these events and a lot of different things. This right here, there's a lot of good fishermen around and a lot of cool things around. I probably did the worst on day 3 than anyone else in the event. And yet, This kid,
Yep, I just
this
did
kid
that.
waited around for me. He had to wait a little. I told him just wait, hold on. They were doing top 10 bait stuff while I was there, so they were taking pictures and doing all that. And he patiently waited. I said, "Hey man, please do not leave."
Come on.
And I was doing that stuff for MLF, whatever. Once he got done,
I'll sign that.
you know, I was like, "Come on, man, jump on the boat. Let's talk."
Texas rig, chatterbait,
He's probably like, "What is this guy talking about?"
jerkbait.
So
Yeah,
He does throw some frogs. He likes
drop
Texas rig.
shot. I love
He
drop
does
shot.
love drop shot. Yeah.
So I was asking him like what he liked to fish. He is like drop shot, Texas rig, and I'm like, "Hey man,
Dying for 7th grade. You get on
listen,
the bass club.
that's great and all,
Every time
but if someone asks you that, you tell them something really cool." Because in my experience, like I could get him some drop shot worms and some Texas rig worms, but come on, man, those are fun.
Right.
So I grabbed a whole bunch of pad perch.
But
I grabbed some hybrid hunters that, I'll be honest with you, we don't make those colors. They're personal colors. I was just getting them a cool Strike King. Good. I mean, look, when I say they're not in packages, these were out of my boxes. I was that kid at one point in time. Like,
all right. So look.
like those are
no
personal deals, man, and man, you never know. So his dad was asking like how to fish it, you know, and I was telling him, and
Take that one.
like I said, man,
Something else.
Hey, is that for that
I didn't even care anything about the tournament anymore. I'll be honest with you, like this was the cool stuff. This is the stuff that like,
Not yet. So you're like the only person that had.
No, the only thing I have to be careful.
you know, I mean,
Yeah, put it on point.
he
Break it off.
made my day. He made all this like I wasn't upset anymore about going to Wayne and fish and doing bad.
Max? All right, nice to meet you, Max.
Like I felt better about my day just because of that. So I appreciate him. You know, he did more for me than I did for him. I promise.
We go out all the time. We live just by
And
the house.
I don't, you know, I watch these videos back, and I had to go do some other stuff. I look up,
We love
and
it. I appreciate
you
it.
know,
Have a good one.
this kid, you know, like he's excited. Like, hey man, what can you say? Pretty cool deal there. So guys, I ended up finishing 8th place. It didn't work out like I wanted it to, but it was a heck of a week. I enjoyed it. Back-to-back top 10s and Toyota championships. You know, I don't know how many people have done that. It ended up being a pretty good year. One of the coolest pictures I've ever gotten was me and Mark. I was the last one to come to weigh in. We were walking down the dock together before weigh-in started. And here's some pictures of some of the cool pictures Jody took. Don't forget, this isn't the end of it. I'm going to do some follow-ups. There's going to be some videos about the gear I was using, right? How I was working stuff. Maybe even some map videos. There'll be tons of comments and questions from people. I'll probably do some follow-up videos. So look out for those. I'll throw those in there from time to time over the next week or two. And like I said, any comments, any questions, ask them. I should be able to get to them. Maybe I can even do a live video. Until next time, I hope you enjoy. Alabama War.